final full day of practice. We started inside just for some of the walkthrough, and then we wanted to get outside on the grass. And the shoes are going to be important in this game when we're looking at the type of surface we're going to be playing on. So it was good work, good practice outside. Guys did a good job getting the field ready. And any questions?
You go full speed?
Full speed, Friday. Yeah. Look, it's just, for the most part, you would say a lot of these guys are breaking in, a different shoe than they would normally be wearing. Field turf's easy. It's a certain shoe. Most of the grasses we play on, it's a certain shoe. This one's different. And so, look, our owner would tell you, you have to have the right tires to win, Lewis Hamilton. And you have to have the right shoes on. It's so important. And they're expecting more rain Saturday. There's a game there Saturday. 58 degrees Sunday, clear. 3% chance of rain, 11-mile-an-hour winds. So we'll have a good day. But that field will have seen better days.
Does it take convincing to get guys in?
No, listen, we've done this over the years. You show tape. I remember we're playing Green Bay. It's 3rd and 1. Cincinnati had a back, Corey Dillon. They ran a short yardage lead play. And on a lead play, you take a drop step. And his feet went out. They had to kick a field goal. Green Bay came back and scored. It made the difference in the game. One of the more overrated fields every year in our league are the Super Bowl fields. Oftentimes they're new. And we went through it in Miami. Mike Bell, who's a real good running back, we're running a 4th down play, and I look and he's got the comfortable ones on. There's a long history in our league, the right shoes. The old Giants, the Polo Grounds had some shoes shipped in. I told these guys the story. We played the Vikings in the NFC Championship game, 2000. We were a heavy underdog, but we were the 1 seed at home. And it had frozen. It was grass, but it had frozen. I'd never seen a field like it. It was crispy, and so the normal ones, even the screw-ins, and then they make a baseball, not the metal, but the same as, and those kind of cut through the ice, and the footing was significant. We were 31-0 at the half, 41-0 at the end of the game, and footing had a lot to do with that. So the footing, as you can look at the film and see what Tampa Bay was wearing. Bert just played there. No, I think, the proper footing is huge.
Sean, when you look at balance, okay, we'll get outside, we don't want to hurt anyone hurt.
No one's getting hurt.
Who will they get through it? Is there like a beyond, hey, this is good for footing, we're tough, we can handle practice?
This is not, listen, no, but I'm saying, listen, honestly, look, I've been through one of those. This wasn't one of those. This was, everyone was moving around. Holy cow. This wasn't the frozen tundra. All right, fair question. Here we go. I think reliable, dependable, you know what you're getting. You kind of know catch points. Here's the other thing, and I love this about the player. He doesn't have bad days. I'm talking about Courtland, and you guys have dealt with him a lot longer than I have. The makeup, what he's about, how he handles adversity. We have a big win in New Orleans. At that time, no catches, and it's I don't want to use the word refreshing, but it's a valuable asset.
How impressive is it that the Chiefs went from kind of winning shootouts early in Mahomes' career to now they actually rank higher on defense?
Yeah, well, let's start with this. They're playing really good defense, and so now Andy's done this a long time, and so he knows how to win, and That might vary week to week. You know, your roster changes. You have injuries. Pieces come and go. And so we as coaches, you know, kind of have to look at that. And I think that they've done a really good job of that. And then you know, the heart of a champion, I say that you know, that there's a confidence level, that there's a belief that, and I've been a part of that, where you just knew you were in every game where you had a chance. But you take Tampa last week, going in there, Evans out, God, you know, and they played a real good game. So, but I think it gets back to what you saw for years from the Patriots. It's just that inner belief that whatever we have to do, and so, and that's what we're pushing for. So we'll be ready.
Coach Bo said that he and Troy Franklin might be overthinking their connection on the field. Have you seen that at all? And how do you?
I haven't seen. Listen, I haven't seen. Hey, the Oregon read yet. So what's the Oregon read? You're throwing there, but you shouldn't be. I haven't seen that yet. You know, in other words, man, this league gives you so many looks coverage-wise that, you know, there were a lot of questions after we beat Carolina. You know, did you see the tight ends being a big part? I know it was National Tight End Day, but I didn't. But I called a play for Sutton. They blitzed and clouded, and the ball went to Trout. And so, you know, certainly there's ways to get guys involved, you know, early in the game. But within the framework of the coverage schemes, I haven't seen the forced, you know, decision to Troy. And look, that's good. In other words, we'll feature certain plays. I mean, last week we got a blitz zero look. We checked. We had it blocked up, and he's got Troy. You know, we just overthrew it a little. That was clearly the right read. It was when you say the perfect sequence, had the protection, the matchup, and you know, those guys have made a ton of plays. But I think what's important in this league is, man, not only that chemistry with Courtland, Troy, Bailey, LJ, you know, it's got to be as a unit. And it's always difficult to predict. It's not as hard to predict how busy a tight end might be. It's hard to predict how busy a receiver might be at times.
How have you seen Forsythe settle in the last 4 weeks?
Good. He's smart. He's exceptionally smart, which is a good trait for a center. He's durable, he's physical. You know, we felt in camp, he got so many reps with the ones that it was, you know, real close battle. And so, you know, we felt having both of those players, both of them young, was a plus for us.
Is that a tough, whenever Luke is back, does that become a tough decision, or do you go back?
I think, look, these guys, I had a talk yesterday with them about, I think the hardest thing for the young player is understanding the pro roster, the inactives, the game day, the practice squad. They've just come from, you know, there's 105, 110 players, doubled up numbers. And then when you look at an NFL sideline on game day, it's pretty thin. There's more people that aren't playing within our sideline box. Sometimes drives me crazy, but more people that aren't than when there's 11 on the field, and so there's moving parts. 3 maximum practice squad elevations for a player. Got to make a decision. We think such and such is coming back onto the roster. We got to make a decision. And so I think it's hard. And I talked to some of the younger players yesterday. Even where you just bring them in and you show them the depth chart and you show them the columns of inactives, practice squad. Here's the 53. Here's short-term IR, long-term IR. I think it's hard for anyone to understand that puzzle. But your question was more along the lines of, hey, if a guy's coming back, yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the deal.
Sean, the Chiefs don't rank low in too many categories, but I think they're dead last in the league in tight end yards allowed.
Give me the question again.
They're giving up 80 yards a game to tight ends.
All right, so if you studied their coverage shell, if you were just watching from high above and at the snap, oftentimes you'll see a lot of too high. And so, they're playing some quarters, they're playing some palms. And so essentially the receivers are all pressed with safety. And so the interior would be the tight ends and the backs. And I think part of it's a byproduct of how they're playing defense. So I think Steve knows what he's doing, but I think, that's one of their base coverage principles. Good. He had a good week. I think, he's feeling well. We'll see where he's at, but it was good to get him back on the field going and literally getting defensive reps. Yeah, he's got a small cast. And I think that'll be for a certain time frame. Yeah, that has to stay on, and so, I gave him a hard time. I don't know how good his hands were to begin with. I think he's had good ball skills, actually, but I don't think it'll prohibit him. But yeah, that'll be for, I think, at least the next 4 or 5 weeks.